if you want to learn Arabic, this is what I recommend you do. You write down everything you want to be able to say in one column. You translate it into Arabic using Google Translate. The code AR means Arabic. If you change it to another language, you get another language, and you get an Arabic text. And you probably can't read this. So what you need to do is then Romanize it. You copy it, paste it on ChatGPT or similar AI, and you have this. And now you can read it. But you also need this because, well, later on you maybe want to learn to read, but you don't need to learn to read in the beginning to be able to understand and speak. But you will need this to generate audio files. So you should paste this also uh, on a text to speech software and create audio files. And then you hide this for now until you learn to speak. Don't learn to read and write until you learn to speak. It's going to make things much more difficult and much slower. And you're going to start reading while listening. So you play the audio and you check the meaning and you read it over and over again. Right? You listen to the audio files again and again and again. Listen while reading. Shadow it. That means you repeat it aloud while listening to it. You do lots of reps. You do lots of reps of this, and eventually you'll be able to understand pretty much everything. If you want to use mnemonics, I mean, in fact, I do recommend you use mnemonics to learn verbs, nouns, and adjectives of the not just all the words. That's going to be impractical, but the most important verbs, nouns, and adjectives. There'll be a few hundred words. If you write around 1,000 sentences worth of language islands, there'll be a lot of repetition there. So a few hundred verbs, nouns, and adjectives will be enough to understand most of it very well. If you're also listening to it a lot, right? So lots of reading, lots of listening, lots of repeating them aloud, and ideally you memorize the vocab. And once you can repeat them aloud pretty well, it's not all that difficult, then you can start translating into Arabic from English. So you read it, try to say it in Arabic, check, did I say it right, did I say it wrong? If you said it wrong, you repeat it aloud correctly. Hello, how are you? مرحبا كيف حالك? All right. اسمي بكير. ما اسمك? And I don't know this because I mostly learned Moroccan Arabic, which is very different. I'm gonna learn proper Arabic as well. But yeah, you read, try to say it in the language after lots of reps of listening and repeating aloud, and then you check if you say it correctly or not. If you haven't done a lot of shadowing and a lot of listening, this won't work because you don't really know how this should be pronounced. All right. So first, lots of listening, lots of repeating. And finally, you might want to learn to read and write. But I only recommend doing that once you're able to have conversations, right? So I would avoid this unless you want it for academic or religious purposes or something like that. And you don't really care about talking that much. You just want to learn to read and write. Then okay, then just jump straight to this. But even then, I recommend learning the words first because you just add in another layer of difficulty. If you can't read this script, if you can't read this script and you don't know the words either, it's going to be extremely difficult. So even then, I would first learn with this alphabet. But okay, let's say you know them now. So what you should do is translation again. So well, before that, I would use the Scriptorian technique, and that's I can't show it right now because you need pen and paper for this because I can't type this stuff. But basically, take pen and paper and marhaban, and you say marhaban, and you copy this script into a piece of paper. And well, it's just one word. But if it's a complete sentence like marhaban كيف حالك, marhaban, because it goes, remember, it's Arabic, so it goes marhaban, kaifa haluka, so it's copy it, marhaban, and you say it. So basically, you say it, marhaban, kaifa haluka, and then you write this, marhaban, you say it while copying it, kaifa, you write it, haluka, you write it, and you say it one more time, marhaban, kaifa haluka. This is slow and boring, but it works. And you do it with the whole text. And then you try either translation or directly, I guess transcription is the. You could either read this and try to write it in Arabic, or you could read this and try to write it with Arabic. That's going to be even more difficult. The way I do it is first read this and try to write in Arabic. But again, I'm not super interested in learning to write in Arabic because, again, in Spain, 99.9% of Arabic speakers are Moroccan, I think, to my knowledge. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but almost everyone is Moroccan here uh, from Arabic speakers, and they don't write this kind of stuff even when texting. They just use Romanized Arabic. Uh, that's what Moroccans do. So I'm not. I'm. Some people might find this surprising, but I'm not the most academic person. Like, I like reading books and stuff, but I'm really not into reading like certain kinds of like ancient books or like. I've tried, but it's not my thing, honestly. Or like philosophy or anything, all that stuff, or like learning to write in dead languages, all that kind of. I'm really not into that stuff. I just want to learn to like understand interesting podcasts and talk to people. So if you are interested in learning to read and write Arabic, and then yeah, do that. What I just explained. But if you don't particularly care about that, then you can skip that and do everything else, which is, like I said, listening, repeating, using just this, and active recall from English into Arabic, right?